Welcome to Smith Coding and Design. So in this week, we're going to have sort of a laid-back fun project where we are going to be making a Hylian shield coaster. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus. So there it is. It's beautiful. My son loves it, especially if anybody in your family loves The Legend of Zelda. So I did design this in Fusion 360. I will make the model available for free in the description below. The surface finishes came out great, so what's new this week, we will be using a 3D spiral to do the front and back surface finish. And to do that, we will need to learn how to make patches so that we can sort of constrain the 3D spiral toolpath and have our machine use one smooth fluid motion. We will also be using the Saunders mod vices. I typically don't use them because I'm lazy and it's easier to clamp and unclamp material in my Curt DX4. You also notice that I use the Saunders palette so that I can switch between the mod vices and my Curt vice without having to re-indicate the vices each time. There are a couple mistakes I made, which you will see. One is that I break a 1/8 end mill, so you'll see that here at the end of the overview. And I did that because if we look here at the center geometry of the coaster, that's about a 40-minute toolpath. I use a 1/8 inch end mill to go ahead and do the pocketing for everywhere the epoxy is filled. And so I tried to run my 1/8 end mill too fast and I broke it. So we'll get to see that here in a few seconds. The other mistake I made was because I don't use the mod vices that frequent, I forgot to ensure that when I did Op 2, I set my jaw gap appropriately for the soft jaws so that the top hat of material didn't cover the screws that are used to clamp and tighten the movable jaw. So unfortunately, the hat of material covered those and I wasn't at first able to tighten down the material or tighten down the part. Luckily, I just notched some of the stock away with a hacksaw after Op 1, and then I was able to go ahead and tighten those jaws and finish the part without any problems. But luckily, throughout the tutorial, I updated the jaw gap to be 4 inches instead of 3.5 inches. That way you guys don't run into the problem. And for the long 1/8 inch toolpath, so I think my solution going forward is I ordered a 1/8 high feed end mill from Helical Tools that is meant for aluminum. So I'm going to see if that will drastically reduce the cycle time for, a pocket such as the one here where it's a 38 minutes or almost 40-minute toolpath. So I hope you guys enjoy and like the tutorial. Please give me some feedback and comments in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you throughout the tutorial series. Alright, so here's boneheaded mistake number 1. I'm using a 1/8 3-flute end mill from Shard Tools, going 40 inches per minute, 40 thou depth of cut, 50% the diameter tool for the width of cut or step over, and I'm just going way too fast trying to cut down the cycle time for this tool path. You'll see here in a minute the 1/8 end mill doesn't hold up and it shatters. Luckily I was able to pop a new 1/8 end mill in. I had a few spares and just use the ETS on the right there to go ahead and get a new tool length and then just start the tool path over again from the beginning of the pocketing operation. Here's mistake number 2. You'll see the 2 large notches that are in the top hat of material. Again, I didn't have my jaw gap wide enough when I made my soft jaws, so there was no room for clearance in terms of being able to fit an Allen key into the screws and tighten down the vice jaws. So again, I don't use the mod vices that often, so I made this mistake. It was a painful one and I won't make it in the future. That's it. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the tutorial series.